Let's go.
Will snowball away from you. So
the most efficient jungler that I think we have in the West right now. So yeah, I agree that it's just going to be a tough position for FlyQuest regardless. I put a lot of stock into vibes, and I'm seeing Lions players smirking, laughing, chuckling with each other.
Irgendwas, was man rematchen sollte? Nö.
We'll see if maybe a different
Bisher actually würde ich nicht sagen, ne.
as pressure is mounting in this best of 5 series. But we're in pick and ban. A couple of bans are
Cassioban gleich Riceban.
and Cassiopeia on Lion side with Ambessa as that final ban, still not giving that.
Letztes Game haben sie Sins auch noch gebannt. Vielleicht mal schauen, ob sie dieses Game wieder machen.
Griffin, whereas Pantheon and Rise on the side of FlyQuest so far.
So Rumble's still up, Taliyah's still up, like a Taliyah Vi sort of action there. You could do like some Rumble with like a.
Ich würde eher Vi mögen. Oh, wollen die für Vi gehen mit Silasban?
So there's a couple different angles. Interesting side
Ja, oder?
ban here. Maybe they just want, you know,
Vi? Sieht der dann aus?
for their bottom lane. We'll see about that, but definitely a lot of power picks still available as far as the solo lanes go. Varus on the bottom, still quite good.
I gotta ask Silkless what's going on with those Akshan hovers. Usually the hovers are
I mean,
for
Dokla's always hovered.
It has been? That's just his go-to? Okay, I haven't noticed that one then. Well, it is a Varus locked in either way for Lion, so they're going for their first off, and it's going to be very
Das hat sie abgezeichnet. Also sie können jetzt halt easy Galio gehen, ne? Sensao, Galio, GG.
That was the Silas ban. That was the Silas
Ja, Sensao, Galio, GG.
Instead of the Taliyah, even though I really like the Taliyah, we have seen some pretty rough Ahri games so far, so maybe this one will change.
Oder Wukong, Galio auch GG.
There's also been some very good ones though, so especially when you pair it with Vi, the point-and-click combination.
Yeah, if they end up locking in this Aurora, I believe it will go mid lane, even though it's technically a flex.
We always bring up
Dokla says it's fake.
We always bring up this story. That was a while ago, you know. Opinions can change. Dokla has since actually had his ass beat by an Aurora in the top lane.
Did that really happen though?
So.
You know, growth mindset here, Kobe. You know, you need to learn.
He might be like, you know what? I changed my mind. Aurora top is good. So, you know, it's probably going to Saint, since Saint had, you know, one of the biggest damage Aurora games in the entire LCS with it. But it could swap always.
We got a Rock locked in. That's a Malphite. Also technically flex pick, although expecting that jungle has been mostly in the jungle lately.
Malphite, Aurora, was ist das?
Fired on another kind of like ultimate, you know, centric champion.
I mean, Silas ist gebannt.
As soon as that ults up, like he can be looking at these lanes.
Okay, sure.
So much more boring.
Wie deutlich war gemeint? 22.000 Goldlied. In 26 Minuten oder sowas. Also, ich glaube, das habe ich noch nie gesehen, glaube ich.
Pick Malphite, right? They immediately take Ezreal.
I don't know what some of those are. I don't know what one of those is. But you know what? I'm gonna try that recipe later. I'm gonna go back.
If this turns into another big stomp, we'll come back to that.
Okay, yeah.
As a talking point.
That's a talking point
when we
for
have
later.
the time.
Yeah. What exactly are we making there? But it's gonna be Ezreal for Masu, so more defensive AD carry.
Ezreal Ahri gegen Malphite.
A good pick into Malphite. That's why the early Malphite priority, even though it was really overpowered when before the nerfs.
At least one.
Also jemand Skull Crushing Billy, nein, Skull Fucking. Und ja.
First one not looking so good. I like where your head's at though, Jat. You know, you're Malphite into two carries that have the most mobility.
Yeah, it's not a good slot. It's good into Vi maybe, and maybe if Gakkos picks an AD champion, and they could potentially flex it, but I think it's a little early. Inspire just did so good.
Wir haben Silas gewonnen, um nicht Malphite zu picken. Wir haben Silas gewonnen für Ahri pick.
And I think part of what worked out well for them in that last game was the fact that they had
Was? Zitat Ende war das. Das war nur ein Zitat.
to push in the wave and then
War nur ein Zitat.
for that top scuttlecraft if a fight even happened up there. So I think that for Lion, drafting, you know, winning lanes might be part of their recipe here for success. As man, the Dokla fans really have shown up today. Shout out the Dokla fans, big Dokes, love it.
All right, Renata off the table as well here because they're showing Vi Ahri, so you know they're going to go for the engage pretty heavily. Don't want to have to work around Renata ultimate, and you know, giving that respect over. Meanwhile, in addition to taking off the Rumble to open up her blind.
Ja, ich meine, Rumble Bunch schreit nach nicht Aurora Top.
On this side. Okay, so they want a protection with both the Rumble and the Gnar.
Oder sie spielen trotzdem noch mit LYON vielleicht.
For big Dokes. Even though, yeah, you know, technically you could put the stick in my mouth if you really wanted to.
Die mal Valentine am 21.2.
I wanna
Du.
go all the way back. This was something we talked about last year when
Kann
Gacko
das Game 2 noch drehen? Ja.
games for FlyQuest.
2-1 Verteidigung natürlich. Klar. Morgen dann gegen, morgen gegen Casey.
So I want to see Gakkos pull out something that the team can play around. They already have a bot laner that can play safe.
Alistar Blind Pick ist das geisteskrank. Was ist das? The fuck is this shit? That's the biggest piece of shit.
Here with his unique champ pool.
Yeah, and I think not going for support counter pick, but instead going for top.
That's the biggest piece of shit.
A good stride towards that. But the overall team composition, if we go back to game 1, FlyQuest picked this very slow scaling 5v5 team composition, and we were asking what are they going to do to try and correct the tilt. More individual agency across the board. Ezreal and Alistar can both play their own games. Vi and Ahri can both play their own games. And whatever Gakkos picks should be able to have an advantage in lane.
It's into Poppy, so he knows what he's playing against, but Poppy is a very solid defensive pick.
I think it's a double flex.
Oh,
Malphite,
I
Poppy can
guess.
both go top jungle, so he's got to have something that works into both.
Ja, Poppy ist gut.
So good into Alistar, Ahri, and Vi here. Good value.
Could be Poppy support also, yeah, and now with the Cassante hub.
Dieser Draft sieht sehr komisch aus von Lion.
I mean, they're gonna have to log in something.
Also der Draft sieht komisch aus, aber FlyQuest hat keinen Damage, by the way.
That explains it,
yeah,
for the most part.
Die haben keinen Damage da rechts.
Malphite jungle, Poppy support.
Still love Poppy into the Alistar. Very hard for you to make any action happen out there. And also it's just great into things like the Ahri as well.
Ja, okay. Okay. Curveball.
Into all of these tanks here. Okay, we
Not bad, curveball.
to have some focus up towards the top side of the map. Last game, you saw Griffin go up there like 4 times, right?
Yep.
Every single time.
Aber ist er so gut?
They died though.
Okay, reden wir mal realistisch. Ist er so gut? Er ist gut gegen Varus.
Not gonna die. How about
Er ist gut gegen Varus. Aber ansonsten, ne?
Play around Desire, right? Because that's the opposite of what you want to do when you're playing.
Ist er so gut?
Felt like everything else in the map was lost here. At least by the champions, they can win this 2v2. They would hope. Although that's a big armor stack.
I was gonna
going up
say.
against Vi Olaf. Olaf can do a
Kann
lot.
er von Poppy ja weggehauen werden, nicht in seine Ulti hinein.
Do well
Wenn die Ulti abläuft, dann ja.
So if he gets a lead, he can tread.
Dentin Blows can't help you out in that. But
Wer Gwen hier nicht so strong, Gwen ist raus.
difficult to actually kill a Cassante. Like, he's a tough champion to lock down and take down, especially if he's under his own turret. So let's see if Dokla is able to play weak side top lane as expected. Gakkos, though, this time, this is what I wanted. The Olaf top lane, a unique champ pool for a young top laner.
Yeah.
Walk back in, Kobe.
If you've been getting beat up a bunch on stage, then you at least need to try something else. You know, you have to increase your tolerance for risk. And index very heavily into counter picks. Olaf thrown down. Can the Olaf run through these tanks and take over the game to keep FlyQuest hopes?
Ist Olaf immun gegenüber Malphite in seiner Ulti? Nein, nicht mehr Technik so.
For FlyQuest, LYON looking to run through this series expeditiously as they got a 21.
LYON kam letztes Jahr in die LCS rein.
First one, higher than the average age of FlyQuest members, as Jat likes to remind us. Game 2, taken to the Rift.
Already some ward sweeping happening in that bottom lane. In terms of going against the grain as well, Kobe, I'd say even the game 1 draft for FlyQuest was doing that. So many people are drafting support in 4th or 5th pick, whereas in game 1, FlyQuest locked in the Ashe Seraphine in the first rotation. Here, the Olaf is something we don't see other people play. Game 1, additionally, trying to play the Jungle Gwen. So they're definitely trying a lot of things, and they seem to have changed their strategy.
Aber hier Level 1 von Ayers.
For game 2 with
No, finde ich nicht bad.
top side, but that killer instinct in draft and trying to be a little bit different, I think, is saying the
Olympique Lyon, wer pleite? Ja.
I always like to keep in mind whenever we see a Varus coming into game, it is the Comet, so more lethality Varus. Expectation here.
LYON ist neues Team, die sind quasi ein Zusammenkampf aus.
Rare that I see level 1 Alistar actually.
Fuck, wer war's? Rainbow R6 oder wie das Team hieß und Movistar R7 oder sowas. Und noch einem Team.
Hello. First thing, how do you regroup from such a crushing loss?
Yeah, so obviously not the best performance, but in a loss like that, we kind of forgot most of our fundamentals in the first 6 minutes of the game. Like we're calling out their Jhin can move. It could be 4v3 on Raptors, Nocturne's level 6, and then right after that we fight Dragon. So it just comes down to taking a step back, taking a deep breath, zooming out, and just playing the game accordingly, because in a game like that, as long as we do play slower and play on our timers, we kind of see it like a free win with our comp. So it is about kind of chalking it up, because as soon as you fall behind, the game's kind of a disaster. So it is easy to write it off, but we do need to have good fundamentals in order to beat teams in any pro league.
I fully agree. I actually really liked your confident game 1. Game 2, taking a completely different strategy here, right? With the Vi Ahri, like a lot of really early to mid-game playmaking. So is that like a conscious choice just based on how the way your team has performed?
It is kind of just like baiting them to pick Varus, and then we have a very good dive comp with the Vi Ahri Olaf. Overall, it still kind of follows a similar thing where they do have like a Malphite, which is going to have pretty strong like mid-game fights, but as long as you have Flash and we have Edge Ahri.
War so auf, man spielt einfach drüber. Ja, die Sache ist, dass Gakkos ja keinen Ghost hat, ne? Das ist mir gerade aufgefallen. Er hat keinen Ghost, mal sehen.
As long as Olaf can connect with the Vi-R, it's going to be winning. But if Olaf is too far away or can't connect, then that's how you know a fight's probably not going to go our way.
Well, we'll see what happens. All the best to you and your team. Thank you for taking the time. We'll let you go. Back to the cast.
Love hearing Coach's thoughts, and I gotta ask, is it just like a FlyQuest thing where they take the mic from the interviewer? Griffin does it, now Thinkard does it. Is that just like their thing?
Maybe he's learned from the coach and not the other way around. Because
I don't know why you guys let him have it.
Yeah, he can hold on to that thing.
as long as they give it back.
Du kannst Links schicken.
Fraction, never again. But it's just
Du kannst Links schicken.
I know, it just keeps happening. Gakko is actually in a very low health situation here as the Olaf, though.
And I'd also say exactly the same jungle pathing that we saw early on in game 1. So Inspired doing the Raptor start, not recalling until after his Krugs are done, whereas Griffin doing the more standard full clear, basing, and then going back for Krugs. It did allow him to kind of cover for Gakkos a little bit there, but he's going to have to start clearing his camps because he wants to hit level 6 at the same time as Inspired.
And it's another instance where already in the
Schau mal.
game, Inspired is
Schauen wir mal, zweite Crap, ne? Ich hab doch noch meine Doubts.
hovering on the top half, and we'll
Mal sehen.
go towards these other camps. But yeah, Inspired
Da ist Jungle, dass er gegen einen gespielt hat, der war so useless.
is right back towards his bottom camps.
Well, I mean, it's same efficiency, it's just different timers in. You're desyncing your Raptor spawns from your opponent's Raptor spawns with this.
Sure.
Last time, turned out pretty poorly.
It did, yeah.
A little bit dangerous, but we'll see how it happens this time. Generally, when you are playing level 6 junglers like Malphite or Nocturne, or a lot of people really like Raptor starts now, so you can get back for the second clear on your red quadrant of the jungle. But you know, it is going to be the clear top down to bottom every time for Griffin. So Griffin is once again going to end up down here after finishes clearing his Gromp. Looks like Isles just went and popped the Scryer's Bloom.
Klassische 5-Minuten-Marke, wo der Jungle eben nichts zu tun hat. Ist auch ein Behind Toplane, ja.
Takes that time.
Level 5 Malphite.
Absolut nichts zu tun, ne? Jetzt hier selbst die Ulti-Force von Gakkos ist gut genug.
But it might not be enough. Ultimate is popped, Ragnarok used, but he sees C
Ja.
immune. Is it enough to get the solo kill? No, it's first blood, the Dokla.
Gibt's Drake ab, aber Junge.
Honestly, he had a really good first game.
Close.
We were talking mostly about Inspired and about Berserker as far as the bottom lane, you know, the individually winning places. But Dokla made a lot of good 2v1 plays for himself on the Renekton up by
Close.
the side. Yeah, it was
Good
an
Klopp.
easy winning matchup with Renekton into Sion, but this time around he had to blind
Close.
Cassante, and Inspired says, you know what? I'm going to come on up here. You only need a little bit of extra damage.
Yeah.
When your Cassante gets to level 6, nice all in there from Dokla with the all out. And Inspired extra damage to make the difference here. Griffin, this time
Das war in dem LCS-Stream, by the way.
not get that Raptor spawn.
Das war in dem LCS-Stream, what the fuck?
Because he sold the Drake.
What the fuck war das?
Crab of all in the early game.
yeah.
What the fuck? Das war in dem LCS-Stream, by the way. Ja, hier.
Crab. I'd take the Drake over.
What the fuck?
Olaf
It's a bigger crab than a drag.
What the fuck?
Hey, first blood.
I need one of those like picture books. That's the animal size chart from Jat, and it's like
Was los, Überfahrt? 23.000 Gold.
And the larger crab. But I'd also say, like, it is another example of Inspired having a really good read on the game where all the information was actually available to the two top laners if they're looking for it, of which way the junglers started their clears, when the camps are going to be respawning, and where they're likely to be. Because Griffin clearing top down, if he's trying to go for another full clear, he's always going to be bot side. So that's why Inspired feels so confident to walk like through the enemy jungler as level 5 Malphite to arrive for that little bit of
Interview angefragt? Ne.
I just want to say, this is disastrous for the Olaf. I mean, we're talking about the fact that this is a Cassante that can stack armor. He now has the boots. He has the bramble vest. Like, this is not what the Olaf wants the lane. Start off already giving a kill over to your top lane opponent. So
With top support. Support is solid. Top.
behind in the 1v1.
Ist ja whatever, glaube ich.
During that invade, a nice ward was placed by Inspired that Griffin doesn't expect there.
Das ist so fucking fucked, by the way. Tabis und Bramble, das ist so fuck. Quarter lange von den 17. Machen die Top 3 in der 4? Nein. Nein. Glaube ich nicht.
At least you can grab your honey fruit to sustain a little bit after that exchange, make it a little bit less painful there. But Malphite is level 6 here for Inspired, and this is one of the items that I have loved, the little buff that they gave with the new season, because it added extra ability haste to it, extra ultimate ability haste to the Zeke's convergence.
Oh, okay.
So it's like perfect for Malphite because you get in there and then you get a little bit of extra AoE damage, slow him down, gives you just general tankiness as well for the game, regardless of damage types of your opponents. And it's very cheap. So you spike super early. So you get your level 6 on Malphite, get your Zeke's convergence, and you blast somebody.
A Malphite build that looked really fun, but I don't know if it's good.
Schon der Progression für 1 bis 3.
It's just all the ultimate CDR items.
Achso, ja. C9, Team Liquid, Lion.
Into Hexplate. And then you're just lowering your arc.
No particular order.
Have you tried that?
I can pass judgment on that right now. I'll say it's not good, but I won't disagree that it looks cool and it's probably fun.
Yeah.
I would say full AP. I like full AP the most.
Full AP is fun.
It's also probably not the best.
Ooh, as Crowdgen has to pop his ult.
Wow, die
as well.
Split, also Target Selection von Lion war so sick da gerade. Wow.
Chased down.
Ulten den Alistar, holen seine Ulti raus, dann Full Focus auf Masu, das war so sick.
Will get the flash
Allein
out.
über Team Liquid, kommt drauf an.
Flash trade there, getting the flash off.
Holen sie Bibor oder holen sie nicht Bibor?
Looks like
Ich bin mit Dokes, well, heute bisher fein, ansonsten bin ich relativ enttäuscht von ihm.
might look to roam after this. Still good laning performance so far by Lion.
And I gotta say that the early game still going Lion's way, but this time around FlyQuest are equalizing a little bit more. Actually, they're TPing topside here. It's the Unsealed Spellbook from Cryogen, so the Alistar popping up to help out Griffin deny all of the grubs from Lion, so it'll be a 1-for-2 trade, as Gakkos is also just keeping priority, pushing in on this top side.
Yeah, and as of now, FlyQuest is not rushing the game like they did in Game 1. So in terms of, you know, something did go wrong in the early game. Our Olaf got first blooded, but let's not forget our fundamentals. We can trade it for Drake. They then control the grubs. So this is already a huge improvement over Game 1 for FlyQuest.
And I would say that instance
Aber im Patch in diesem Live-Patch, Punkt 4.
Game 1 and 2 now that we've seen Griffin
Ist
really
Punkt 4 Patch.
identify where Inspired is and make a counterplay himself. Like he's jumping up there with his Alistar behind him to push Inspired off of an objective.
Maokai ist noch incoming.
Inspired, who all of Game 1, and even at the beginning there, identifying Griffin was pathing bot side and then Gank's top, it feels like Inspired has had God vision himself to just know where Griffin is at all times. So, small win there.
Ja, schon Maokai Nope noch nicht natürlich.
Like, you know, Cryogen investing the early teleport off his Summoner Spellbook. But it does mean now Isles has Summoner Spellbook teleport advantage, so you can make a play elsewhere sometimes and then use it to go back to bottom. He couldn't find any plays though, so he's just going to use it for another reset.
Okay.
Isles right back to lane.
Hops down there and equal buy with Cryogen as well. As Masu's in a 1v2 right now, and that's where Ezreal, again, very comfortable for a champion like Ezreal to be in these type of situations, which allows Cryogen to get around the map.
All right, Griffin has completed Sunder Sky. He wants to do like a lane gank, it looks like, on bottom side. He's coming down. Tribush does have a control wall.
Maokai schon wieder stark natürlich.
Really wants
100%
to
OP.
use his Vi ultimate, but there's nothing
100% OP.
presenting itself, so maybe they do leash the dragon. He got a little sweep over the ward though, so at the
Boah, fühle ich mich hier confident in dem Fight.
Just got midwave in, so they got to be very careful here. FlyQuest
Fühle ich mich hier confident.
fight coming in from the mid lane as well, and actually it could be Quad that's in trouble. Control ward will spot.
Engage auf Isles? Was? Was?
Verdict is canceled by the headbutt.
Was?
Stop them all from getting knocked away themselves, but now
Was?
they didn't get the kill, they didn't get the pick, and they have to reset as Dragon.
Was?
Imagine a bit of
Was machen die?
Probably wanted to. His Q was on cooldown. I think he
Was?
was probably hoping to W him in the other direction, but wasn't
Maybe.
quite in the right spot. Because
Warum steht nur Olaf 01 gegankt?
Flash Poppy seems like a really good turn.
Well, when the Keeper's Verdict is being channeled, it's either cancel it or let it hit all of us, I guess. So maybe you just take the latter. Who knows in those tight moments what the intention was, but either way, it just delays the dragon. Neither team will go for that second one again, as instead Griffin paths towards the top side. So Kobe, he didn't find that immediate you know, power spike he was looking for. Speaking of power spikes, Mastercard power spike here for Quad in the mid lane. Flash from Cryogen onto Berserker as Chain of Corruption will go wide. Cryogen sidestepping that one, but in comes Isles. Gets
Gut, wieder Ulti pausen ist gut.
Actually, Cryogen's able to walk away from that one. Exhausted down, the ultimate trying
Er
to
ist
get
tot.
alive.
Solid.
His AD carry's already given up on him. Cryogen
Sehr solid.
sacrifice Berserker.
Und du verlierst den Drake. Das ist so guckt.
The dragon. Oh man, FlyQuest. Hey, it feels like they just can't even really like hold on to anything. Maybe topside again. Griffin wants to go over the wall.
Okay, they're not gonna wait for the dive instead. It's
Alter, was macht dieser Typ? Er gibt ihm, by the way, den Exit, ne?
tool here. Griffin's trying to lock him.
Er gibt ihm, by the way, damit den Exit.
Get him to safety. In comes Quad.
Okay, okay.
Charm lands onto the top laner. Dokla with the third jump was on the get-go.
Oh mein Gott, Saint. Einen Skillshot treffen. Einen Singular Skillshot.
Can he get anything?
Der zweite hat eine Ulti.
From Berserker. The Varus has now shown
Also, das ist so perfekt. Also, no joke, das ist so schlecht.
big ultimate.
Das ist actually einfach richtig schlecht.
Get another kill.
Sorry, also, ich weiß nicht, wie es sonst... Das ist einfach richtig schlecht.
Even when FlyQuest get one kill, Chat,
Yeah?
they lose 3 more trying to get out of there. The teleport from Berserker Varus.
They're going so deep, though. Look at
Yeah.
how long.
Für wen sind wir für Lion?
for
Aber ich bin trotzdem enttäuscht vom Fly. Also, das ist ja einfach schlecht.
A massive amount of time for LYON to mount a
Das ist ja einfach schlecht.
Credit to Dokla for delaying that.
Also, ohne die Ulti rauszugeben, ist er einfach tot, glaube ich. Oder fleischlos zumindest mal.
Behind the turret with no ultimate.
Das ist so schlecht.
About the way this play started.
If you started by going over a wall, you can go right back the other way with Kazante.
Yes, you can.
So Dokla is able to get himself to an exit path and then flashes the Q
Holy fuck,
here
Robert.
sometime. So that requires Quad investing the flash on Ahri, which now allows the counter because Malphite is quite close. So Saint feels confident getting the triple person ultimate with the Aurora, and Berserker's teleport means there's nowhere to exit.
Yeah,
Auch geil von Berserker.
Very nice two-man ultimate. Saint doesn't die at the end of it. Dokla, you appreciate it when you get 3-man as a top laner and then your team backs you up.
Exactly. And again, this is showing multiple times throughout both games where LYON are doing something on one side and FlyQuest feel pressured to do something on the other. This is now another instance in the top side here for Griffin. And it's now a 2.2k gold lead for LYON, rather, and a lot of that being on this bottom side. Berserker with that TP up top side. LYON.
Protoplasm Harness schon fertig. Oh, Ayats, what are you doing, son?
And he had multiple members.
What are you doing, son?
Pick for FlyQuest. Much needed gold into the
Fertig.
mid pocket.
Really nice pick there by FlyQuest, trying to keep the action up a little bit, but that time, as you notice, they didn't need to really overextend for that play, so they used their tempo nicely and get the quick kill onto Isles.
Gotta say, LYON, they look pretty good. Regardless of that like face check and one kill going over to FlyQuest.
Well, maybe it's another here as Cryogen.
Muss ulten, oder? Oh, okay, Stroke a bit.
Safety dodges the charm. There you go, Jet. There's your rocket build.
Wollen wir Armor oder weiter Support-Items auf Malphite? Ich glaube weiter Support-Items.
All right. Well, and they also have the Malignance was rushed onto Quad as you called out earlier, Kangas. So should be able to get that one back pretty quickly as well, and look for some more possible pick plays. I mean, FlyQuest have to keep looking for some of these picks. Meanwhile, topside, I feel like that Rift Herald's been pulled out. We can look at the minimap right now. Inspired is almost done with it. So Rift Herald here over to LYON, gonna result in some more.
Okay, LYON nicht Damage, glaube Minute 28, mal schauen.
Kind of guaranteed as well.
Mal schauen.
I do think if you look at the
Gegen Olaf, maybe. Mal sehen.
to make sure they don't
Schwer einzuschätzen.
overforce, because
Aurora kann so viel Damage machen.
said, this
Aurora
draft
kann
is
so
around-
viel Damage
we're gonna
machen.
pick Varus, and we're gonna pick a bunch of stuff that can kill Varus. So even though Dokla Inspired are big tanks with lots of armor, if they can center plays around their bottom lane, they're still in a game state.
Kennen wir die Coaches? Rainover ist der Coach bei LYON.
And Varus already
Den könnt ihr kennen, ja.
bounty, 'cause Berserker
Und
is
Rick
at
Beast, glaube ich,
once
ist ein
game
Coach, heißt er.
already,
Den müsst ihr nicht
especially
kennen.
with that teleport up to the top side.
Den müsst ihr nicht
Couple early
kennen.
Kills onto the Varus. If you are able to take him down, that would be huge. Get a little bounty there as well. Problem is, he does have his flash available, and he's got the extra boots of swiftness to dodge away and keep his distance.
I like Cryogen here ghosting into lane. Again, the Summoner Spellbook. You can try
Ja,
to
sieht nach
find
nice
little
aus.
plays like that, but Dokla wisely backs off, so should be fine.
I especially like Boots of Swiftness because it helps so much as an AD carry trying to kite an Olaf. You know, the axe spam, so much less threatening. You can dodge really easily side to side. Your Ghost Blade active helps with that a lot too. So it basically means that Vi has to ult you, or Kraken has to have a really good.
Ich glaube, dass FlyQuest
Here we go towards the crab.
nicht genug Damage hat gerade, oder? Vor allem, wenn Garkos nicht dabei ist, aber selbst mit Garkos haben die nicht genug Damage.
The crab, and that's gonna be it.
And
Mal sehen.
really difficult for FlyQuest to retake this space because the Aurora has
Du
perma-push.
verlierst halt automatisch deine alles, wenn du da reinfällst.
Is warded up there.
Ist Saint Vicious? Nein.
But with both bot and mid lane pushed in, and Berserker probably resetting now to complete another item, Edge of Night making it even more difficult for him to dive.
Ooh.
There's some really good timers for LYON here to play around bot river.
Yeah, now you can't even find like a charm to start things off under Berserker. You got to get through that shield first. Dragon has now spawned, so let's see if LYON want to start that one up as Griffin's on the
Ja,
top.
das funktioniert halt nicht, Bruder, ne?
Proxy farm from Dokla, and in comes Griffin, uses the ultimate.
Weiß nicht, was er da, also,
Has the all out, trying to get out of
no joke, what are we doing? So, jetzt kommt Ulti, oder nicht?
Follow him up. Everyone's onto Dokla. LYON are onto the Dragon. Flash over the wall. Gakko's flash follows. And the
Okay.
wait from Griffin.
Ich glaube, das war wahrscheinlich der worst possible way, um es zu spielen für Dokla.
Well played to get the kill up there. Traded for the objective.
That one works well. They were not going to retake river safely. We
Ich glaube, das war der worst possible way, um es zu spielen.
in that instance. So that's the attempted counterplay. And this time, rather than trying to gank for a Malphite, or for a Scion, like in game one, he's ganking for an Olaf. It didn't look like they were quite on the same page. Gakkos actually stutter step backwards at the start of that gank, but they got it done in the end.
Yeah, and they're able to push out the lane afterwards too. So the Olaf has been able to recover quite nicely, has the only little gold lead on the team. And once your Stride Breaker is done, you know, at least he has the extra, you know, speed differential to try and use, chasing people down. And we'll see how they progress there, if they can continue to make.
Bitte nicht langweilig, den ganzen Tag alleine zu kuschen. Ich bin nie alleine. Ich hab euch doch.
The kind of weakness of FlyQuest.
Ich hab doch euch.
What happened in the early game is that Gakkos was so far behind. Dokla picks up that kill from Inspired's level 5 Malphite gank. But now Gakkos with this hopefully can get back into this game because Olaf is a big part of the comp and they're just going to repeat the
Kannst du schon noch besser Cashback-Dinge aber jetzt gleich, ja.
This time an exhaust goes out.
Oder du musst sofort aufhören zu griefen. What are you doing? Oh.
The ultimate from Olaf will just keep up as long as he's
Hat er sein TP gegrieft?
has no escape.
Er hat sein TP gegrieft, ne?
His second kill.
Eat him up. Here we go.
Das ist fertig. Ich kann kurz nachschauen, ja.
Also should be able to get this turret. Back away, Kraken. Don't you dare steal any money.
I mean, this last sequence is huge.
Berserker meinst du,
There
ne?
was a slight goal deficit for Gakkos into now
Triple tonic.
size lead.
I will at least say the first turret bonus had already been taken by LYON on the bottom side, so you
And
don't
the
get.
plates had already mostly been farmed. I
Fuck
was,
is
I was waiting for it to jump up. It was like, got about
Yeah,
120.
What is buggy?
You don't get as big of a gold injection, but it's still good to get, obviously, for him as well. And Sundered Sky, you know, completed.
Hat nach Late Night Solo Queue bestimmt, oder?
Now, something to work with.
But the question I have is it too little too late? Because Olaf I see as something you want to get that snowball going. Baron's already on the map, so we're kind of at a point of the game where Cassante might be looking to group up with the team anyway.
I mean, former.
Jetzt ist losable as fuck, by the way. Der Olaf ist so broken.
Olaf has really good scaling.
Oh,
so
really? Okay.
It was different item set, but he was like.
Der Olaf ist so OP. Jetzt ist losable.
Really powerful. You just need to go
The LYON.
earlier in the game. So we'll see what happens in this game, just because Berserker does seem so accelerated, and a lot of times Olaf wars are about like, can the 80 carry kill you before you reach him, and then maul him as an Olaf. But I think Gakkos is in a pretty good game state now.
Yeah, and this LYON squad is a lot about like burst damage with a lethality Varus and with an Aurora here. So if you can make them run out of burst, if the burst is not enough to get the job done, then they can still find some good success. Or, you know, they can always try and poke with Ezreal first.
Damit ich was über den sprechenden Mund aufmachst? Nee, ich bin sehr krank.
Has been quite good with poke champions, so
Nope.
maybe he's able
Also
to
mir tut's wirklich weh zu reden.
Varus poke and stay at a fairly healthy range away from the Malphite while still being able to get something done himself.
And Malphite, the targets he's looking at, it's a CCMU and Olaf, and it's 2 carries that have mobility, the Ahri ultimate, the Ezreal jump. So it's not even going to be like easy for Inspired to be like, okay, well, Gakkos is going somewhere else, I'll just jump on them as the Herald. Okay, well, we slammed it.
Ich glaube, sie sind spike-technisch sogar fein.
View of it. I like that.
Muramana noch bei Berserker fertig und dann wäre es, glaube ich, okay. Problem ist erneut, ich weiß nicht, ob sie mit diesem Olaf klarkommen, weil sie haben kein Anti-Heal gerade.
Delayed a little bit.
Wenn der Olaf halt durchgehend autodecken kann, haben wir ein Problem.
Deliver you a little bit of
Heizung mit Schlafstimme, ja, habe ich.
wave of minions that was pressured, and so Olaf is going to have to answer there. It gives a small window for a roam
There
towards
is a
mid.
purpose for it.
Yeah.
Other than Joyride.
Yeah.
And Dragon's coming up in a minute 15. So if you can control the vision around the river, that is, you know, advantage in and of itself. There's two.
Ja, ich bin nicht sehr confident in den Teamfight hier für LYON.
As LYON are jockeying for their own vision control. Saint walking up, taking some of that poke from Masu right there. Two Qs have landed.
He's getting it done. Ormon is transformed.
Ooh, Charm onto Inspired as Isles is looking at it also. FlyQuest trying to spread out from the Malphite ultimate, but it's just a place.
Es wird nie Lilia competitive gespielt, weil wir keine AD-Midlaner spielen. Die gibt einfach so Position, okay.
Even if they land that charm, with having the protoplasm harness on top of what is
Wenn der Olaf Varus 6 bekommt, verliert er auch so aus 1000 Range 150%. Ja. Mal schauen. Ich glaube, theoretisch sollte hier FlyQuest Favor sein auf diesem Fight. Aber das sieht schon wieder so aus, als ob die einfach geben, oder was? Das machen wir. Obwohl, Quarter TP. Das soll, also eigentlich sollte das Favored für FlyQuest sein, dieser Fight.
He's going for the like cheap item build, where he's using a lot of these kind of pseudo support items with the Zeeks and the Protoplasm that have very low price tags. So he can get to 3 items pretty quickly on, and we're gonna get the 3-item power.
Moramana fertig. Berserker ist so broken. Und FlyQuest, wie die das Objective hier approachen, ist richtig cringe. Cryogen noch.
So there's huge burst damage.
Auch Half-HP schon.
Also gonna be in range for the Abyssal Shred for Saint. And it could be dangerous. Here we go.
Yeah, the Dragon started already.
Poppy Ulti kann hier big sein. Viel zu früh castet. Als du bist so shit. Als du bist so shit.
So no knockback for Griffin. Instead, it's LYON looking at the carry. It's on quad.
Ja, oh, du kannst nicht Knockback werden von Poppy Ulti. Also von Poppy mit Olaf Ulti. 3K. Oh, die Cringeness so. FlyQuest cringed ist so hart. Ja, guter Engage. Masu ist tot. Schaut auf Gakos. Inspired muss rausflashen. Was? Oh mein Gott. Nein, das ist so cringe. Oh mein Gott, die missplayen so hart. Oh Gott, die missplayen so hart. Ach du Scheiße. Das ist so hartes Missplaying.
Crush the fight at Dragon with a double kill to Saint to end it.
LYON just playing very well in teamfights in both game.
Dass diese Weider gerade, schaut euch bitte gleich die Weiher an, okay? Schaut euch bitte gleich diese Weiher an mit ihrem Q-Flash. Es ist so bad. Es ist so bad. Ich bin ja für LYON, aber das ist so fucking bad.
I will ult when they stack. Wait. After the VQ, I will try to. I'm looking now. Final ult.
Schaut euch die Weiher an.
I can flash.
Okay, they looking mid.
Vi just flashed in. Olaf.
Wow, es ist so fucking disgusting.
Vi no flash.
Okay, or.
Go man.
Yeah.
I love how even after flashing over the wall, Inspired still shot calling the fight, saying who to target. He's in total control this game, landing that ult.
Insane und natürlich alles micromanaged von meinem Goat. Komisch. Komisch, gemicromanaged vom Goat.
You know, he ults in onto Masu, and then you know, Saint is able to flash follow and kill that key carry.
Exactly, and Berserker was again untouched. We saw Gakkos. He's meant to be the threat for the lethality of Varus. He didn't even get the.
Sah Griffin in den Games aus? Nein.
So, yeah, Berserker was able
Seit Playoffs. Schöner Sidestep.
The charm not land on the Isles. Good sidestep there.
Yeah, uses his W for a little extra speed there. Nice little juke, so no pick. And even though it is Malignant's Ari, you know, in a little bit of an investment there, because you see the bottom lane, Aurora's pushed it all the way up to the tower, so they kind of sacrificed a little bit of minion pressure here on the bottom side, as Saint was able to fully push that one in level 16 himself.
Yeah, this is turning into a slow and steady LYON victory. I really just... The big power difference there by Inspired going with the cheaper items. He was a full item up on the Vi, but only like 400 gold up on the Vi. So I think that ended up making a big difference, because if he's, you know, a little 2-item carry there, Gakkos would probably get the kill on him, or at least burn the flash earlier. It just made such a big difference in that fight.
That's why
Was hat gespielt? Bisschen Off-Meta-Picks.
Before he just finished the Abyssal.
Bisschen Off-Meta-Picks, also sowas wie einen Volibear hat gespielt. Der hat einen Sahin gespielt. Letzte Woche. Kiana, Ambessa, sowas. Die OP-Topliner quasi. Welches Team in der Nähe gerade ist? Hinein.
League of Legends. I don't know, man.
And Saint is about to get a death cap. Let's look at this bottom tower, though, because the tower is dead, so Not much Dokla can do about it. There's an Olaf in your face.
Saint is coming from the bottom, tier 2. So if Dokla keeps Gakkos here, Gakkos could be in some trouble. But no, Gakkos will back away. Saint not going to make it there in time. But the turret was the objective for FlyQuest. They do get more gold onto this Olaf. Still 3-3-1. Still the last pick, fifth pick, counter pick.
In Zweier braucht Laner, die gewinnen, damit sein Playstyle sehr gut funktioniert. Also er ist obviously der GOAT, aber er braucht trotzdem Laner, die halt human sind. Auch erfahren in Deutschland, die go, ey. Klasse, Danusch. Glückwunsch. Glückwunsch, Danusch. Freut mich für euch. Wie sehr hast du gelacht beim Alistar-Pick? Sei ehrlich. Wie sehr hast du beim Alistar-Pick gelacht? Ich nämlich sehr. So disgusting. So disgusting.
Like a top-tier mid laner, rather than what we saw beforehand, which was definitely not that, because hasn't been.
Wusste die spielen nichts anderes, es ist so pathetic. Einfach alles da gepickt da, so krank. Actually insane.
This was the one player coming back, so when he was having a rough start to the year, it was like, ooh, is the roster gonna work? There were a lot of question marks raised of this would-be super team. We asked, the chat during the lounge segment today.
Meine, dass er nichts mehr gewonnen hat, seitdem du nicht mehr sein Schweinchen bist, ja. Niemand ist überrascht. Niemand ist überrascht, ich bin der GOAT.
Yeah, it just feels like LYON are much more coordinated as a team than previously as well. So better individual performances also lead to better coordination. Yeah. That comms listen-in was what you kind of expect from teams with Inspired on them. Where it's like marching orders from the very beginning. This is gonna happen, then this is gonna happen.
LDA auf Ezreal als Adaption finde ich smart.
And it seemed like everybody is on the same page and really executing.
I mean, speaking on being on the same page, Drake's up in.
Ja, die Aurora ist super scary. Wir hatten ja ein bisschen so über Damage philosophiert. Ich sehe kein MA-Item bei Gakkos und ich sehe einen Level 17 Aurora mit einem Hut auf. Ich glaube, der Olaf ist nicht sehr tanky gerade.
All hands on deck for this next Drake.
I mean, I think that FlyQuest are just giving it. I mean, look at where Griffin is. He's on the top half of the map. They're not going to TP quad in, so it seems like FlyQuest are trying to slow the game down a little bit. Not
Ist es bei Wami 9? Was denkst du?
And it is only the third one as Griffin looked for the
Was denkst du?
onto Isles, but he steps back. I mean, maybe they look for a pick out of Dokla. Really tough to kill this Cassandra. He will walk in and give them a window.
Dokla ist es no joke. Für dich, es ist wirklich so leicht für dich, diese Series 3-0 zu gewinnen. No joke, Dokla. Du hast hier den leichtesten Job von allen. Ich mein's todernst. War aus White Trade and Draft, ja. Boah, Saint. Oh, Flash. Oh mein Gott, der Flash von Gakkos war nicht so gut. Ich glaube, die gewinnen doch, oder nicht, Lion? Cryogen hat kein Flash. Jesus. Wie findest du ein bisschen Mask? Er gibt in manchen Slots Sinn. Hier zum Beispiel. Ja, es war Varus First Pick into Vayari mit Silas, dann als Prep. Into Malphite Aurora, into... Was, Ezreal auf 3 oder alles auf 3? Ezreal auf 3, ne? War, glaube ich, alles auf 3. Ja, wir müssen sofort den Cassandra reporten außerdem.
That's an empowered recall. Okay, he's out of there.
Yeah, they were trying to go for the re-engage there, and so it turns into a 2-for-1.
So, Problem, das ich jetzt sehe, Saint hat kein Flash mehr.
Because Mountain Soul Shields would be a very big difference maker here.
Top 3, Quaddle, hallo. Hallo. Nein. Außer sein V drücken, außer sein V eingeben, sofort, hallo. Sowas sagen wir nicht.
Provides you a lot of sustain, so Gakkos, this Olaf is in a very healthy position. FlyQuest need to just play around that Olaf.
Oh, we're actually going to send it here onto Saint, but he just dashes away with the ultimate between worlds. Teleport coming in now as he rocket belts forward. Dokla has completed the TP, flashes in.
Was macht dieser Typ? Also, ich meine, ich sag's jetzt nochmal, Dokla. Du hast hier das wahrscheinlich leichteste 3-0 deiner Karriere vor dir, wenn du wirklich aufhörst zu infeeden. Das ist gestört, was dieser Typ macht.
Nobody dies on either side.
Really weird fight there. with the initial engage not working for
Okay.
FlyQuest, and then I'd say Dokla like flashing in for that engage when Inspired is off screen is never going to have the follow-up. He knew that he wasn't going to die, but he also wasn't really able to get much done. We're seeing a lot of durability actually on both sides of these team comps and not that much damage.
Yeah, Griffin tries to go for the Vi ult.
Das ist nicht normal, by the way.
It's an Aurora.
Da aktiv da reinzuflashen ist so gestört.
Because nobody else is like
Gut Ingen.
that close. They don't have a lot of immediate threat. And then clearly something from the side of you know, LYON was calling
Actually insane.
Engage, but all right, you know, a flash down here and there, and
Nako Cassante gegen Dokla Cassante.
we're still
Krank.
very much
Den direkten Vergleich zu haben.
a fairly open game state.
But I want to go back to what Thinkard had said at the beginning of the game in the interview. We need the Vi ult
Gut
and the Olaf to be in range to follow up. That was, again, Griffin going way deep in the jungle, and Gakkos didn't like hit anything. Yeah, he held the line so Berserker couldn't walk forward, but we haven't really seen that yet where Gakkos is able to follow up on the big engage from Griffin.
Well, luckily for them, they do have the Guardian Angel timer well before this Dragon Soul fight.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit rough as far as Baron and Dragon Soul being on this map at the same time. LYON can try and you know, pull the trick where they go to the other side here and then force you to react to their objective. But with Guardian Angel on Vi, you can afford to go very aggressive. Vi, Alistar, and Olaf, you know, trying to push in and dive for that kill on the carry.
I feel like FlyQuest has to go in for this soul point.
Pakistan ist Sustain Spells. Wenn ultet, bekommt Omnivamp.
Them with FlyQuest needing to reach thresholds of durability to get kills, Soul will end the game. So
Und sein ist ein Schild und sein Unending Display hielt ihn halt noch.
FlyQuest's restraint, not flipping the game earlier than this, trying to get small incremental wins on Gakkos so that he can become a big Olaf by the end of the game. But the game's going to be decided here if they can control this space. And it's really hard for them to move in. They're still quite far behind on the game.
Little Hex Drinker here from Gakkos as well, on the back of it. So gonna have the extra magic damage shield to deal with.
Ja, Soul in 10.
And Malphite up front.
Wir dürfen nicht reingehen. Es ist super leicht. Mein Varus ist so OP. Immer noch. Varus ist so fucking broken hier.
Have control of the space, so it's likely they get engaged on first and then have to try and counter.
There's Inspired. Anytime you're walking into the Malphite, it can be scary. Grip.
Was macht Saint da? Bro, was hat Saint da gerade? Was macht Griffin? Brother hat da gerade Flash engaged, wenn niemand around war. Was war das? Und Gakkos ist tot, by the way. Sein Death Sense killt ihn. Was, ey, das ist, Entschuldigung, aber FlyQuest ist richtig low heute.
FlyQuest, and now it's reliant on Quad and Masu to find some carry here. Big poke from Masu, knockback on the Quad, but no fall.
Au, schön von Saint. Geiler Flash. Das ist insane, wie hart man das griefen kann gegen sein. Also wie hart die einzelnen Spieler das griefen können. Das ist krank. Ohne Spaß.
Especially this game. Really good back-to-back stuff because Griffin tried to do a really snap play on Vi, again without the Olaf next to him.
Insane.
And because Griffin goes right over the wall, uses flash, uses ult immediately onto the Aurora, they use so much of their CC and the Olaf...
C9 ist das beste Team in der LCS gerade.
He's immune to CC, but not damage.
Hallo, Gotcho.
Inspired just ults him for damage anyways, and they kill him off. Now they're on the Baron.
And all he can hit is Dokla, who's got the Bramble Vest from the beginning, so, you know... Tough position for FlyQuest. The Baron is the next objective. There's no chance FlyQuest can get in there. Isles is holding the line against Griffin. So instead they'll just go for the kill onto Isles, take out the Poppy, and now the Baron's low. Oh, there was actually
Jesus Christ.
So there may be magic gonna happen, but no, it is Baron secured for LYON.
Isles gives his life to make sure they get the Baron.
Safe hätte er da sterben müssen, oder? Für den Nash.
I just really like everything about the way LYON played out the extended fight here. So Saint, he doesn't get followed up upon, but then the patience here to just like not give Olaf good targets. And the amount of magic damage that Saint actually manages to get onto the Olaf is really good. Procs the passive once there, continues autoing as Inspired ults in for damage. Berserker never presenting himself as the target. He's basically been almost full health in every single fight this game. So LYON is playing really good discipline League of Legends.
And then Saint jumped over the Dragon Pit wall and they lost track of where the Aurora was, thinking it was a front to back. Oh, really well played by Saint. 6-0-4 on the Aurora.
And now it's desperation time. So Griffin's hoping that some squishy dude walks down here. that and doesn't have friends.
Only one, please.
Yeah, please, one at a time.
Okay. Oh, was he just spotted right there? No, it doesn't look like it. This is crazy.
It's a double bush stack. So they have 3 in the top bush. All right, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I mean,
Wird denn Spanner sein Talent? Nö, der kriegt so viel Kohle. Der kriegt so viel Kohle und erneut, ich glaube, also, lehne mich jetzt aus dem Fenster und ich sage, wenn du da Big Dokler rauskriegst aus dem Team und dann jemanden anderen holst, dessen Namen ich jetzt erstmal nicht nenne, oh mein Gott, dann ist dieses Roster gut genug, um zu gewinnen. Das Fleisch ist gut, Gakos, oh, Gakos ist drauf auf ihm. Oh mein Gott, er lebt noch. No fucking way, die killen ihn. Warte, wer gewinnt? Es ist LYON, ne? Ja, LYON gewinnt. Das war, wenn er rüber so? Nö, warum? Nö. Soll er bleiben, der hat die Kohle verdient, soll er nehmen. GG. Ja, ich glaube, das ist 3-0. Also, das ist ein 3-0. Also, dieser Cassante hat aktiv versucht, das Game zu verlieren. Ne? Das dürfen wir nicht vergessen. Das war wirklich ein aktiver Versuch, dieses Game zu verlieren. Und trotzdem haben sie es nicht verloren. Taken down again, LYON. The team that we were promised is showing its fangs today. 2-0 in the series.
One more game from the sweep to eliminate FlyQuest from LCS lock-in, Kobe.
And at the very end, a little kiss from